Gladiator opens in 180 AD with a grand battle on the Germanic front. General Maximus Decimus Meridius leads the Roman legions to victory against the Germanic tribes and their allies, winning the admiration of his troops and Emperor Marcus Aurelius with his magnificent battle prowess and general military tactics. And Marcus Aurelius begins to see Maximus as a loyal and capable leader and general. And this causes the emperor to confide in Maximus his wish to make Maximus his successor instead of his son Commodus, as he believes Maximus can restore power to the Senate and prevent Rome from descending into even further corruption and chaos. After learning of his father's intentions, Commodus confronts Marcus Aurelius in his tent, and he is distraught and unable to accept his father's decision. Commodus breaks down, and in a moment of desperation and anger, he strangles the emperor to death. Commodus then proclaims himself to be the new emperor, and he orders Maximus' arrest and execution. And unfortunately, Maximus is then betrayed by his fellow soldiers and taken to be executed. He, however, though manages to escape, but when he returns back to his home, he finds it in ruins and absolutely decimated. Commodus' men have murdered his wife and his son, causing a grieving and weakened Maximus to collapse on the floor, and he is soon captured by slavers thereafter. From this point though, Maximus gets sold to Proximo, an aging former gladiator who now trains and manages his own gladiatorial school. Initially, Maximus is reluctant to fight, but eventually his survival instincts do kick in, and he quickly proves himself to be a skilled and formidable gladiator, gaining the respect of all his other gladiatorial peers. A little while later, Proximo's gladiators, which include Maximus, are taken to Rome to participate in the Grand Games being held in honor of Emperor Commodus and his reign. Maximus enters the Colosseum for the very first time, masked, and leads his fellow gladiators to victory in a reenactment of the Battle of Zama. Commodus is intrigued and very impressed by the skill of this unknown gladiator. After his victory, Maximus reveals his identity to Commodus, who is stunned and enraged to see that this feared and famous general is still alive. However though, Commodus can no longer execute Maximus outright, as he is very popular with the crowd and he needs the favor of the Roman populace to stay in power, so he allows Maximus to continue fighting in the hope that he will eventually die in the arena. A little while later, Maximus secretly meets with Lucilla, Commodus' sister, and Senator Gracchus, and together they conspire to overthrow Commodus and restore power to the Senate. Maximus promises to lead his former soldiers to Rome to aid in the rebellion once he can escape from the clutches of Proximo. Commodus eventually though discovers Lucilla's involvement in the plot and threatens to kill her son to enforce her loyalty. Commodus then dispatches some guards to arrest Maximus and his fellow gladiators. Proximo helps Maximus and his allies fight their way out, but Proximo and several others are killed in this ensuing battle, and eventually Maximus Decimus Meridius is also captured as well. Commodus then arranges a public duel between himself and Maximus in the Colosseum, and to gain an advantage, Commodus stabs Maximus before the fight can even begin, severely weakening him and causing him immense pain. But despite his injury, Maximus manages to kill Commodus in a desperate and brutal struggle, and a very well done one-to-one hand combat scene in my opinion. However, though mortally wounded, Maximus gives instructions that he wishes all of Proximo's gladiators to be made free and to reinstate Senator Gracchus into the Senate and restore the Republic in all its former glory. Maximus then collapses and he has a final vision of reuniting with his wife and son in his mind before he eventually passes away. Lucilla then mourns his death, and the crowd pays silent respect to the fallen gladiator and his immense sacrifice. The film ends with Maximus' legacy being carried forward by those who believed in him, primarily Lucilla and Gracchus, who, freed by his final act of bravery, are poised to help fulfill his dying wish, a Rome governed not by a tyranny, but by the people and the Senate.